Okay, good afternoon, team, and thanks for joining. Please confirm whether you are able to see my screen. Okay, I can see a bigger number. Confirming yes, everything is okay. So today I want us now to finalize this level 3, that is CCNA 3, by this topic, network management. Basically, how do you manage, your network? So we're going to look at various, tools that will help you when it's come to management of your network. Okay, so we have quite a number of protocols. I know most of them, maybe, I don't know, maybe you have come across them. And, they're very, very important, especially when, you're managing your devices. So we have various protocols like CDP, LLDP, as those major protocols. How do we use them? NTP, SNMP, syslog, as the major things that actually we have here. So starting with the CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol, as the name states, it is one of the Cisco protocol. It was developed by Cisco. Okay, and more so where Cisco devices, are used or connected, especially, if you get a given device and you want to find out which other devices apart from what you're able to access, is connected to it. So yeah, it's something you can do using, this particular protocol. Ideally, CDP is meant to gather information about Cisco devices, and again, they share the same data link. So that way, you can easily tell the other device you are connected to. That is more so the neighbor. Who is your neighbor on the network? So that's why this particular protocol is very, very important. Now, the beauty about this protocol is that it is, it is media and protocol independent. Okay, that's the beauty about it. So that means regardless of the media that has been used or the protocol that has been implemented in place, that will not be a problem. It won't be a problem. So it could be either routers, switches, access servers, etc. Those Cisco related protocols, devices. Okay, so you'll be able to check whatever you want there. So a good example is what you can see, a router being connected to a switch there. So with this particular protocol enabled, then there'll be sort of exchange, of this data with your peer, especially to know which are these devices that are there. Okay. So how do you configure and verify this? So how do you enable how do you enable this particular protocol? Okay, so it's quite simple, okay, on how you can enable this. So you can see already it is on by default on Cisco devices. So it's something that is already on by default. And if you want to verify the status of the CDP, okay, and even get more details about that CDP, then the command show CDP will be used. That will give you more info about CDP are there. If you want to disable CDP on specific interfaces because it can be configured on an interface, yes, you go to the interface and you disable it using the command no CDP enable on that particular interface. Okay. If you want to do it on a global mode, yes, also you can as well go ahead and enable it on a global mode. Okay. Okay, to enable it on the interface is CDP enable on the interface. But now on the global mode is CDP run. CDP run. Okay. To disable it, no CDP run on a global mode. So basically, remember, how are you connected with the other devices? Huh? So we have those interfaces. And remember, we want to know more details about each of those neighbors and how we are connected. And that's why this particular protocol is important. So if you check, for example, what we have here, okay? So you'll find that on this device, R1, that is now the previous one that you have seen within our slides. So the command shows CDP neighbors will give you the device ID, the neighbor of the other device. In this case, it is switch 1. So you'll be able to see other interfaces, the local interfaces that are connected to it, and those details that you can see are being displayed for us there. So that shows that there is another Cisco device, S1, connected to G001, okay, interface on R1. Furthermore, it is connected through, 05. That is from the switch side, 05. So if you add details part of it, show CDP neighbors details, then you'll be able to see that, yes, we have the neighbor. We have the neighbor there. Okay. Also, the neighbor together with the IP address. So let's be intentional here and pick this R3 because R3 can see, physically looking at it. So R2 rather, physically look at it. It's connected to R1, to R3, and on the other side to the other switch. Okay, so we can just check on this so that we get to understand. Okay, enable, then show CDP. Okay, show CDP. Okay, just to get to understand, the protocols that we have here. Okay, it shows CDP what neighbor or neighbor details. You can do entry, that is for the info for specific neighbor entry, interface for interface status and configurations, then neighbor to get to understand the entries of the neighbor. So these are the 3 parameters that actually can go with the what? Can go with the neighbor. So you can just have neighbor there. Then if you do so, you see those devices. Okay, I'd not renamed the switch, hostname switch, but you can see that's not a problem. So we have router 1, we have router 3, and the switch, which are the neighbors for this R2. So if you add, so that way you'll be able to see how they are locally connected, okay, to various routers. This switch is connected to this router 2, of course, through G000. It's connected this router here, router 2 is connected to router 3, okay, through serial 011, and it's connected to router 1 through serial 010. Okay, that's actually the point out there. Okay, then of course the platform, mostly the series of these devices, and locally how they are connected to these devices from these devices now. From these devices, how they are connected now to R2. If you add details, okay, then you'll be able to see even the IP address of each of those neighbors. So I believe this R3, is R3, this R3, okay. So R3, the IP address set on it, and okay. So R3, the IP address, because we have included the details, of course, and other interfaces, the same details that you have seen also being captured, including the platform. Okay, the platform, that is the series, the capabilities, of course, is a router here, and of course other other additional details that are being captured there. Then we have R1 also are there. Okay, and the switch, where is the switch? Where is the switch? That's R1, that's R3. Then I think the very first one is the switch up here. Okay, also being captured. These are the details of the switch. So CDP, as you can see, it's enabled by default. We did not enable it anywhere. And by the way, it's not recommended. It's only recommended when you want to confirm the devices that are interconnected to a given device. Then after that, you can just disable it. Why? Because the hacker can take advantage of this. Any moment the hacker can manage to get into your access your devices, and more so the intermediary devices, then these are the commands that the hacker will be using, because it will return those details that the hackers need. Like you see, for example, the neighbor details. So I'll get to understand even the IP addresses of those devices and how you are interconnected to each of those at a device are there. So that's why they don't recommend you guys to enable it, okay, throughout. So just enable it for a short time when doing your verification. After that, you can just disable it and you proceed with other things. Okay, so that's about CDP, mainly for Cisco devices, purely Cisco devices. But now, in a place of work where you are, it's not maybe possible to have only specific vendor, maybe Cisco only. So you might have a mixture vendors, different vendors. Maybe you have, I don't know, TP-Link, you have, I don't know, Huawei, the Cisco products are there, etc. Okay, so in such kind of situation, then there's nothing to worry about, because they develop a protocol which is more neutral, especially where you have different devices. And this protocol is known as LLDP, Link Layer Discovery Protocol. As you can see, sir, a vendor neutral protocol. Just work the same way as CDP. Okay, then you'll be able to see those devices, routers, switches, wireless access point, all of them the same way we have seen with the CDP, including even the IP addresses of those devices. You still be able to access them, or to see them are being displayed for you are there. Okay, regardless of the other one that has been connected on the other side. So that's how we need to check on this. Now, how do you configure LLDP? So again, you can see maybe enabled by default, and to enable it, you can also enable it on a link on a global mode, okay, on a global mode, and also you can go ahead and set it on the interfaces, okay, on the interfaces. So either way, just like the other one. So that's how you can enable that particular command. So to disable this particular protocol, LLDP, then no LLDP on a global mode. No LLDP run on a global mode. Okay. LLDP run to enable it on a global mode. So that's how you can have it. Then can be configured in specific interfaces, just like the CDP. Okay, and must be configured separately to transmit and receive those packets separately. Okay, so you enable it, the one for transmitting and receiving, as you can see. That's what they meant. Okay, for transmitting and for receiving, so that those details, also can be captured as well. So when you confirm, we find that yes, the status is active, meaning it is enabled there. It is enabled. So these are the things that actually that we have with these particular protocols. Actually, when checking this, because when it's come to troubleshooting and management of the various networks and devices, will be your major role. Will be your major role. Maybe it's part of your job. Your JD. That is okay. Show LLDP neighbors. You see, just like the other one, you'll be able to see who are these neighbors. Okay, that are connected to this particular switch. Call it S1. So you'll find that this R1 and this S2 that are connected. That are connected there. Then details. Okay, details. Yes, still you will have the details there, meaning you can see the IP addresses, okay, of various devices that are linked to your devices as well are there. So that's the most important thing that, again, we need to understand there. Okay. Yes, we have talked about logs which are being created, the logs which are being generated here. And these logs, by the way, guys, are very, 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 very important, for us. The logs are very, very important, especially what is happening. Oops. Sorry, guys. I don't know what is happening. Okay, just a minute. Okay. Sometimes technology is, can misbehave. Oops. Okay. Let me reshare back. I don't know why it was misbehaving. Okay. Is it now okay? I have to reshare the screen again. Okay. So configure and verify. I think this one we have talked about. Okay, we've talked about LDP neighbors. Show LLD. Okay. Okay, fine. So I was talking about the logs. The logs. Okay. Especially when you want to audit or to analyze various logs. So timestamp is very important. It's very important when you want to analyze your logs, when you want to analyze your log. So it's important you set, the date and time, the date and time. Okay. So when you set the date and time, so the logs that you'll be receiving, the logs that you'll be receiving will be, time stamped, meaning if there's something you are trying to analyze or to check between this period and this period, okay, when was this attack took place, for example, so in between, so you can easily get to understand with the logs that you have collected are there. So the software clock on a router or switch starts when the system boots. Okay. So that's the most important thing. So you see, you as the administrator, you can set that one manually. You can set it manually. Okay. If you want to do so. But that one again, sometimes, it's okay. You'll be able to still to get everything that you want, but it's a bit cumbersome. Okay, especially now, when moving from one point to another. Okay, when moving from one point to another. So that one actually can be another challenge there. Okay, so a good one, as long as it has detected a different time zone, then it's supposed to update automatically. So I remember when I was moving to the southern part of Africa, then, I remember there was a change with the timing, and my phone automatically detected and adjust to that time zone are there. So that's actually things are supposed to be to be happening. Okay, but when you do it manually, it means again where you are, you'll have to reset it manually. Okay, again for you to be able to be in the same time zone. So that's the most important thing. So it is important to synchronize the time across all devices on the network. When the time is not synchronized, then it will be impossible to determine the order of the events and the cause of an event there. So that's why they're emphasizing. So now, for things to be easier on your side, so you can actually now have this NTP, Network Time Protocol, very important. Okay, instead of doing things manually. So NTP is one method that actually you can have instead of doing it manually. Are there. Okay, so now that's now lead us to this, okay, a setup and the various levels, how things are supposed to be aligned within various time zones. So with the NTP, okay, with the NTP, so when that synchronization is taking place, then that means all the devices now will have an update on the same. So NTP uses a hierarchical system of time sources, and therefore the levels that we have, the hierarchical system level that we have, what are calling stratum, okay, will be able to define for you the various number of hop counts of the devices that actually we have right from the source, from 0 up to the last level. Okay, or now they'll be synchronized at there. Okay, equally. So the maximum hop count usually is 15. So anything beyond 15, okay, will not be synchronized at there. So that's the maximum level. So depending, that's why you see you're attached to a given device. So if you keep on restarting your devices, you still be able to get the same time zone. And most of our routers and switches are there because it's linked to this, because that one was enabled at there. So all of them are from the servers. So your server is where actually you can set this. If you check your server under services, you'll be able to see the NTPs there. So you can enable it from that point. Okay. So when that synchronization is taking place, then it will be for all the devices within your domain. Okay, that actually will be synchronized with these various NTP or time zones for each. So right from 0, 1, 2, up to the lowest level, So we need to have this being set up. As we have said, the importance of having this one in place is just to do what? It's just to ensure that when analyzing the logs, okay, so it's important to understand, okay, the logs for your devices, when a given event took place, the time, the date, all those will be captured as long as that has been enabled there. So you can check if at all you have set it with manually, I'll be able to tell, or you'll be able to tell. Okay, so for example, if you look at this show clock detail, what are you able to see? Time source is user configuration, because you set it manually. Okay, I mean you set it as the okay, more manual stuff, but when you set it through the server, where the server now is the one that will be synchronizing everything, then when you just confirm, you can see time source is NTP, meaning you set it through the server. It's something that you had set through the server there. Okay, so depending on the kind of or type of server that we have there, so you'll be able to see that NTP it is here, so you can set it from here. Okay, you can set it from here, so everything including the key. Okay, if at all you want to enable the key, so NTP is already on here. So if you want to go further and add other things, okay, the key and the password, okay, then you will be able to set that, and you can see the time. So this means it will just be following the latest, the latest calendar at that you have. All the events, are time stamped. So yours is just to go back. So what is the IP address? What is the IP address of that particular server? So when you go to your router, to your switch, okay, to your router, to your switch, that's actually what you will be setting there, as you can see. So NTP server, so that server IP address is here. Okay, so long as you have enabled it on the server and the services, then now everything will just be automatic for you. So that's the beauty of having the NTP. So don't don't struggle with the manual way. Set the NTP and everything will just run without any problem are there for you. Now, other protocols that are being used for the management of our networks, apart from NTP that we've talked about, we have also simple network management protocols are there that also can be used. Okay, so this allows you to manage nodes on an IP network, various devices that you have within your network. So you can monitor and manage network performance, find and solve network problems, and even have your planning for the growth. Okay, because you're able to monitor and see everything how they are working. And more so when using the SNMP protocol. Okay, now with this particular protocol, there are those three major elements. There'll be the manager, there'll be the agent, and there'll be the database itself, management information base, which is very, very important. So these three things will be coordinating, and therefore, in case of any changes of the topology, then it's supposed to be reported from to you on the console part that an interface has gone down, an interface is up, something has been removed from the network. So those kind of updates, okay, through that exchange, you'll be able, to see everything they actually they are running are there. Okay. Now I know nowadays there are a lot of more of wizard kind of management tools that can be used rather than the command bit. So nowadays things are just friendly, because now they'll be captured and sent to you. That will alert you whatever is happening within your network. For example, if you look at now what we have here, so we have the manager, we have the nodes that actually are being managed. So you can see, so you are somewhere just sitting in your office, but you can easily get communication from these devices. Okay, so instead of going to the server room and checking each one of them, you can just be getting it. So it means there's a software also that has been installed on your device to be able to collect and distribute this information to you. So that's why the manager is there, to collect info from the agent by using the get action command. Okay, and you can change configurations on an agent by using the set. So get set, okay, are some of the major commands also which are applicable. Then now when actually receiving them back, trap, what has been trapped, okay, so what actually you're getting. So these are from you, the admin, what you're setting, what you want to retrieve, okay, then the kind of replies you are getting upon issuing this particular commands here. Then this the SNMP agent and MIB resides on the client devices, okay, and this particular database is the one that stores data about device and some of the operational statistics, okay, that will be able to give you everything that you require are there. So you need an additional application that can give you everything within the network are there. So network is one thing. These applications again is other things altogether. Okay, so they rely on the network that is available for you to be able to manage everything. For example, what has been trapped? So you just get an alert that an interface is down. So you have been notified about that. Okay, so that's what has been trapped. So that's what you're getting from your side. So an interface, which interface, that also it will be indicated. So the figure illustrates the use of this trap to alert the network admin that interface G000 has failed, and therefore The network management system software can send the network admin a text message, a pop-up window, okay, depending with the kind of applications that you have, okay, or turn the router icon red in the graphical user interface are there. So it depends. There are various ways actually this kind of alerts can be tracked, then you can look at it. Just like for Windows, for example, the Microsoft. We have the notification part when it's something new, or maybe when actually, they were moving from Windows 10 to Windows 11. On the notification part, we used to get those notifications popping up, okay? Meaning something is being communicated. So you just need to check. The same thing also, the same concept will be used with our devices there. Syslog also is another important utility also that we have, especially when you're managing your devices there. In terms of, again, the notifications that will be sent to you or being collected and sent back to you. So that's very, very important. I remember Syslog, unfortunately, I don't know the packet tracers we tried, because I wanted us to enable the one for the SCL, but that one was not being supported. The log part was not there. But I know Cisco Modeling Lab features, for those who have used Cisco Modeling Lab for the equipment, that one can easily perform and you'll be able to see what is taking place. So these syslog logging services do provide three main things to us as the administrators of the system: the ability to gather logging information for monitoring and troubleshooting. Okay, select the type of logging info that is captured, then specify the destination of a captured syslog messages. So that's the beauty of having all this being enabled. And by the way, I know there are some system where the logging has to be enabled on the interfaces before you start. So you can go on the global mode, then logging on. Okay. Then from there, you can specify the type of logging, maybe logging trap are there. The logging level. Sometimes you can even include the logging level because you have different levels. Okay, that also can be specified. Ranging from there, something which is a bit severe to something that which is harmless. Those levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 5, I think they are up to level 7. All these can be specified within the system are there, so that at least you know which action to take immediately in case you receive a certain type of logs on your side are there. So that's the most important bit that we need to understand. Then with this command debug all, or debug a specific interface, or debug a specific protocol. Debugging is very, very important because with debugging, you'll be getting the live updates on the screen. Okay, being scrolled up or scrolling up on your interface are there. So you can, yes, have the debug command are there still to get those kind of various updates or interfaces. Alternatively, syslog messages may be sent to an internal buffer, okay, and where they can be viewed through the command line as well. Yes, you can still have that one. So you have the commands being used just to collect some details that you need within a specific parameter that you want to analyze. So popular destination for syslog messages are, so we have talked of logging buffer, okay, the RAM inside a router or a switch. This more of internal, okay, console line. You are using those console, terminal line, and syslog servers, where you go and enable it under the syslog, and you'll be getting those updates. But again, you must link it on the command line and specify where it will be directed. And that's why when actually doing the logging, you have to specify logging host, okay? Then you give the address of that particular server, so that all those updates now will be directed to that particular server, so you can access them from that point at there. Yeah, so you can see you have different syslog messages format, depending on the levels, as we have said, right from emergency all the way to debugging. So level 0, level 1, level 2. But then you have been receiving with our configuration so far, sometimes when you do an interface, when it's up, when it's down, okay, interface G000, enter, no shutdown, you'll get an update. That one is just a notification, okay? It is just normal thing. So the interface is up, the interface is down. So mostly we have been getting such notification, by the way, and they are common. If we check that, you'll find that those interfaces, okay, so okay, there's something I want us to do. Let me do something here. Disconnecting this, connecting again. G00. Okay, so you just get you see here 5. It's just a notification, up, down. Okay, it's just a notification level we are getting. So you are being notified. So it's normal. Okay, when actually something is fluctuating, you get such kind of alert. So usually it is just a notification that we are getting there. So nothing to worry about. You're just being notified. Then we have other levels. Alert, critical error, warning, informational debugging, etc. Very, very important to get to understand all these kind of notifications that we have and their level, because this is what you will get. You'll not get critical error or something like that, but you'll be able to interpret it through the levels that you have been given: level 0, level 1, level 2. That's why it's important you understand this level. And by the way, you can even get it in the certification exams if you are planning to do one. Okay, it's good to understand these levels, because somebody can ask you, okay, a direct questions on the same or indirect questions on the same are there, and perhaps you're not aware of those levels. So it's important to get to understand these levels. So syslog facilities, okay. Now, as you have said, you know, like the notification that you have seen there, when there's a fluctuation of the interface, something is fluctuating there, okay, and kind of anything that you have done, and there's an update coming up there. So it's important to understand that particular line as we have seen it there. So with the syslog facility format, so we need just to understand what is this and how can we interpret it. For example, some common syslog messages facilities reported on Cisco routers include the IP address, okay, the OSPF protocol, system operating system, the IP security, the interfaces, like what you have just seen is just an interface. They're the most common kind of, messages that you'll be receiving. For the protocol, for the OSPF protocol, remember, when actually we had the OSPF being set, the adjacency messages, you're able to see that pop up coming up. So that's the OSPF protocol message that we are getting are there. So they are part of these syslog facilities that they are talking about. So for example, if you look at this format, okay, try to analyze this. Okay, that is facility, severity, mnemonic, and description. So if you take, for example, what we have here, like you can see this now, 3. Okay, for example, sample out a Cisco switch for this and ether channel link, changing state to up, and this is what we have. So where is the facility? Where is the severity level? And what is this mnemonic message here? Okay, so you can see the facility now becomes the link. Okay, the link, and the severity level is 3, and the mnemonic, okay, is up down. Yeah, okay, up down. Very, very important. Of course, the other one is just a description, you know, change state to up. Okay, interface port channel 1, change state to up, just a description up there being given. So that's the most important thing. Okay, so what is this level 3, as you have seen? So level 3, as you have seen here, is more of a error. You see, error condition. It's not a notification, it's an error. So whenever you are seeing that kind or receiving that kind of notification, so it's important to understand. That's why they not ask you an obvious question. Instead, they will go through these levels, level 3, okay, level 0, level 7, which kind of, problem is that, and what do you need to do, the step that you need to take, rectify. So long as you have identified the problem, like the error, and it is an interface. So probably that could be the layer 1 problem. So you need to change the cable and such, all the possibilities. That's how that certification exams normally being set in that order. So you have to be ile mjanja, where at least you understand all this pattern and most of the levels. If you get the levels and the meaning of each levels, you are good to go. The rest, you'll be able to figure it out. And you just find yourself passing the exam without any challenge. So how do you set this syslog? Okay. So syslog timestamp, as you have said, syslog timestamp. So you can enable that one. Okay, you see this is just very, very simple, as you can see. Okay, so look at the 2. This is this was a notification, this one. So there's no problem here. Everything is working normally. Okay, only that the interface has been what? Disabled, shut down. So you're being notified. It is in down state. Okay, so if you check on this, yes, you have set the interface. You have set the interface, no shutdown. You have enabled it, but you can see 3. Okay, so that likely tells you there's a problem somewhere that you need to find out, because you have seen this an error. It is an error. But now the beauty about it is that we have also the timestamp enabled. Okay, as you can see, the month, the date, the time. Okay, for each of these timestamps also being captured here. So this is actually what you need most. Okay, this is what you need most. Okay, that's very, very important. Router and switch file maintenance. Okay, I know we have been using these particular files, the files. So which one is in use? Which one is the default one when you confirm within your device? Okay, and the location of this particular file. So you can see here, the one in asterisk is the active one, because there'll be several of them, but you're not using all of them. So you can see the one is in asterisk is the one, in use, the active one, and you can see where also it is located within the flash. Okay, because you might have several of them being stored in different locations, including the USB. You have flash, but only you have one. Okay, including in the server, etc. You might have several of them, but which one is active? Which one is in use? That one. Okay, so show file system will list all the available file system within this particular series of router 4221. In fact, this is the latest router we have in place. 4221 is the latest series that we have. So whenever buying these routers and switches, then go for this 4000 series. The 4000 series is the latest that we have. Okay, so that's how or what we have. This one is the router. So the asterisk indicates the current default file system. Okay, then the pound sign indicates bootable disk. Both of these are assigned to the flash file system by default. By default are there. So that's actually what you need to take note of when dealing with the files, with the file system are there. On the switch, the same thing. Okay. So you can see again up here, the asterisk, the default one that we have there. Okay. So again, located within the flash memory. So flash is everything here. It's just a small component, by the way. It's not that big. If you have seen it, it's a very small component, and it has all these files are there that you can view. Okay. Yes, sometimes you might want to do a backup. A backup of your configurations, fine. But the easiest way is just you go to the system, show run, then copy and paste. Okay. That's also the another way you can use. But you can opt depending with the program, emulation program that you have. Is it PuTTY, is it Teraterm, or which one is it? So there are procedures also that you can use. And more so for the Teraterm, you can see if you want to capture the logs. Okay. So you just go to File menu, then Log. Okay, as you can see. Then choose the location to save the file. Okay, where do you want to save that file of yours? Okay, is it within your device, your laptop, or your flash? Where do you want to save that? Then from there, you just click, okay, save. You click save. After capture has been started, execute the show running config or show startup config. Okay, there. So when it's complete, you close that Terra tab, and you'll have all the logs being captured. So you can actually have a backup of all this somewhere else there. If you want to retrieve them, you want to restore them, okay, assuming you had a challenge and you had actually captured this one somewhere, yes, possible. You can just paste them back. Maybe you had copied it from a file and pasted it somewhere, but it's time now to have it back. So maybe you might have some sort of modification. Okay, it's much better than starting something from the scratch, which will give you some headache. So after you have modified that your file, okay, then you can go back now to the prompt, the switch prompt, the router prompt. Okay, you enable config T. Then from there, depending with the program, is it Teraterm or is it PuTTY? Then you can see on the file menu, click send. Locate the file to be copied into the device and click open. Then Teraterm will paste the file into the device. this time around as commands. Okay, as commands, not text. Okay, so this command to text, then text to commands when actually copying them back. So you can restore all your configurations that way. So it's good to have all those, somewhere. Okay, sometimes you want to do a TFTP, using TFTP to backup and restore all your files. Yes, it's possible to have the TFTP. So from the command prompt, you can just, copy running config to TFTP. But again, before then, you have to find out, is TFTP accessible? Is it online before starting all this process? So if it's online and it's active, you'll be prompted to have the IP address of that your server. So you'll have to enter the IP address of the host where actually this particular file are supposed to be stored. Okay, if possible, you can give it a name, maybe a backup file or something. Router 1 backup, if it's for router 1. Switch 1 backup is for switch 1. Depending the name that you would like to give, it's okay. Okay, if you want to restore them back from the TFTP server, maybe you had a problem, okay, or maybe perhaps the device that you are setting up, a new device, after doing the modification, that's also possible through this command. Copy TFTP running config, okay, then you enter, then the IP address where this file is being, captured from, so that it can check. Okay, then the name of the file, then you enter. Okay, then you'll find that yes, all the files now is back, but now as command. So if you're able to understand all this, then you'll be enjoying your work, what you're doing. Okay, you have no stress because it's something you can be called anytime. Just wake up and do whatever you want to do from where you are, because you understand the system well and how it is operating there. Okay, guys, you have seen these latest routers and switches. Most of them do have the USB ports. Okay, so you might be wondering the purpose of this USB port. So you can make use of those USB port as well, where actually you do a backup. You save the file, your files, the iOS file, whatever you have configured, running config file as well. So you can have that USB, you insert it, okay? You insert it where it's supposed to be inserted, the port are there. Then after that, you just move to the command line, and just do a dir. Okay, it will list for you the content of the USB flash drive there. Okay, you'll be able to see everything that also is there. Okay, but of course through your laptop, through the Teraterm that you have installed are there. So if you want to do a backup using USB to backup and restore is possible, but now you'll have to specify. Usually if you check the flash port, I don't know whether you want to see it here. Sometimes okay, this diagram does not have one, but sometimes if you check, you'll find this part of what I see something CF0 and CF1. Okay, actually where the flash is located. Okay, you can just confirm which is the location of that through the command. The command are there, dir. Of course, you need to see the active one. The flash is okay. So you can just now specify that. So copy running configure from where you see USB flash 0, the port the port where actually it's connected, okay, or 1, depending with the port where it is connected there. This example, USB flash file system is named, okay, this 10. So copy run this. You copy the file, the USB flash drive. So all of them will be taken to the drive are there. Okay, to the drive are there. So that's the most important thing. So it's very interesting. We have a lot of labs, by the way, guys, on your portal that if you follow one by one, all of them, don't skip any, because they're not even many. Okay, you see there are those chapters or modules with labs, some modules without labs. So you concentrate with the one with the labs and do those labs from scratch. You'll be able to understand everything and you'll enjoy everything. Okay, just have your timetable now. You want to work them out one by one, right from CCNA 1 to CCNA 3. You'll be able to understand everything and you will not struggle. Okay, password recovery procedures. Okay, so we know very well, okay, why we are setting password. We said password is the first line of defense. Yep, that's what we said. Yes, but you have set a password, but get a point where someone cannot even recall the kind of password they had set. So it becomes a challenge. It becomes a challenge. Okay, and more so for the encrypted passwords. So how do you do this recovery? So depending on the device, the detailed procedure for password recovery varies. Okay, but again, the beauty about all this is that they follow the same principle when doing the password recovery. So there's a way we need to change from one point to another. You know, we have used to switch prompt to router prompt, you know, where you put enable command, config t, etc. But how about if you have forgotten your password? Because it's possible, by the way, we are human beings. It's possible. You're not perfect. Okay. Or sometimes you are somewhere where and you get a device the password. So how are you going to advise the management? To go and buy a new one because the other one is set the password that you cannot remember? Utakufuta na hiyo siku. Okay, ama utakupatia warning letter. Are you serious? Yes. So you have to be mjanja and find out how you can recover the passwords are there. So step 1, we need to get into the mode known as Roman mode. Roman mode. That's the first step. Step 2, you change the configuration register. And by the way, you need to understand your configuration register, each and every device. Okay, this is actually where the startup config file is stored in this register again. So when the device is booting up, okay, so it will actually boot from the startup config, but within this particular register. But if you want to ignore that register, there's another register that we need to put. We're going to look at it practically. Then copy the startup config to the running config. I don't know whether you have seen some changes here. You know, when doing your normal configurations and you have to save your changes from the RAM to NVRAM, usually you do copy running config, startup config. So running is starting first because of the RAM being taken to NVRAM because of the you know, the non-volatile bit of it. Okay, but now this one, you are retrieving back the file with the passwords because already you have skipped that part. Then change the password. So you'll have now the opportunity to rechange the password the way you want, because you could not recall, the previous one. Then you save, okay, all this, then you reload the device. So that's what I want us to look at practically. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, the first step is to initiate that mode, the Roman mode. With console access, a user can access the Roman mode by using a break sequence during the boot up process or removing the external flash memory. By the way, not all will be able to work with these control keys. The one that you can have control and break key, then it will jump to Roman mode as it boots up, in that process of booting up. But there's some other devices that you can note. You'll have to move that flash. Like I remember this one device. I don't know what happened. Some students actually put the password, and I found that I was told those devices have been there because the guys tried to use the control, these procedures here, control break and what have you, and they were not able to do anything. It was not giving them anything, not leading them to Romno mode. Then I told them to check at the back, if I can take you the back end here. Okay, the back end and check. Okay, check. It was more or less the same thing, not like this, but more or less the same thing. Check. Okay, where the flash is. So what you can do, you try and remove those metal, things and see which part or which one has that flash. So they removed it, and we now rebooted the device without that flash inside to skip that part until you get the Romno mode. By the time it gets to Romno mode, then that's when you return it back. Then you can start your configurations. Okay, by removing that there. So that's the point. That's the point. So some you can remove, some you can just use command there. So it depends. So in that particular process, while it's booting up, there's control and break key on the keyboard. On the keyboard, control and break key. And again, that depends with the device. Not all will be using control and break key. Depend the type of laptops. Okay, there are some that maybe will require you do control, function key, and B for break. So it's just a matter of checking. It's always good to find out the kind of laptop and what can work for you. So it is not standard. It is not standard. But if yours can work with control and break, that's good for you. Okay, so that's how we normally check all this. So again, some will find that cannot work with the breaker. Maybe it's the pause, control functions and pause key. That's what can work for you. Okay, so that's that. So the moment you get to this mode, Romno mode, okay, then here at least you are safe. Meaning it has skipped. Okay, so you're not on the switch or router mode. You are in Romno mode. Okay, then the register. Change the configuration register. Now remember, when it's booting up, these are register are there. We're going to confirm it. So you want the process to skip that file the file which was saved, and also the startup config file, because that's where everything are, including the passwords. Okay, so you type this config 0x2124. The main purpose of this is to ignore the startup config file during the boot up process, because it is the file with the passwords that is giving you stress. Okay, then after that you reset, you enter, then you reset, then enter. It will boot up and it will take you to this mode, depending with the device. If it's a router, you'll see this one. If it's a switch, you'll see switch here. Okay, but switches, by the way, are very simple to reset. There's that button, the mode button, that you need to press for about 5 seconds. It will restart and it will lose everything. For switches, there's no problem. For routers, my friend, this is actually where the problem is with some people. Then remember what you have said. You copy the startup config to the running config. The other way around, okay? Because you see, you managed to get to router, because getting here was a problem. So after the register config, okay, 0x2142, then reset, then after rebooting, you'll get to this point. Then now you can now have the file which had these passwords. After that, when this is complete, then you can now confidently reset the passwords. Something that you're not supposed to do. Caution, do not enter this copy running config setup config. This command erases your original setup configuration. Again, remember, it's just password. It's just password that you want. I don't want to lose the entire thing, the configuration, imagine those things you had set, the SELs, the OSPF, I don't know what, all those firewalls, etc. Okay, and again, remember, it's what is being used by the entire company, all of them, and you want to erase everything. So you can imagine the mess. You just want to change the password only. So that's why this warning is very, very important. It's something you can do as the work is going on. No one will notice that. Okay. Then after that, you change now the passwords. Enable secret Cisco. Okay. So change the password to what you know. All the passwords, all those 3 passwords. If it was line console password, have your own password. Line VTY password, have your own password. Enable secret password, have it. All of them. Okay. Don't assume, all of them. Change everything to the password that you know. After that, when everything is successful here, then you need to have your register back. The register back. Okay. So save the running config as the new stop config. Okay. So in that case now, remember, you still have the other register. Okay. 2142, which will make you ignore the stop config. But because I've set everything, now I'll take them back. So 2102, so that at least it can now boot normally. So when you are through, then now just do your copy running config stop config, and everything will be now running without any problem. So this is what I want us to do practically. Let's just finalize this part, then we can go to lab together. So for the image, the iOS image, by the way, you can do a backup of that image. It's good to have a backup somewhere, because usually there's an image. Show you'll be able to see the image. So you have image somewhere, you can back up it to a TFTP server or to any other place that you think is comfortable for you. So in case of anything, you can get it back. So that's the most important bit, again, that you need to take note of, having that backed up then you are good. So in case of any problem, you have your copy. You have your copy somewhere. So production internetworks usually span wide areas and contain multiple routers. So for any networks, always a good practice to keep a backup copy of the file, Cisco IO software file image. Okay, in the case the system image on the router becomes corrupted, or sometimes someone from nowhere just accidentally erased it. So you cannot blame again that person because it was accident, you know. So, but if you have the backup, that's okay. So how do you back up this image? So first, you just need to confirm with the servers, are they accessible? Because you want to back up the image there. So you verify that, yes, it is accessible. Okay. How big or small is that file with the space that you have? Because you might have the file is very big, the space is too small. So that means it cannot be accommodated. So you might end up again removing some files which are not necessary to create space. Then copy the image to the TFTP server. Okay, there. By specifying the source URL to your destination URL. So very, very simple are there steps that we need to follow. So copy TFTP to the flash. So you can see is the command TFTP. Okay. So then you see you'll be prompted to have that. Then you put the image, the Cisco iOS image that you're trying to back up and have it somewhere, just in case there'll be a problem. So at least you have your file as somewhere there. Okay. Then now sometimes you can have it back, but now you boot it. Okay, from the flash boot system, the location is flash. The image has been stored in the flash. So boot system specify the location, so it will be able to locate data. Okay, within the flash. Then copy running config subconfig. So you have it. So when you check, you'll be able to see that it is there. Okay, you have restored it and everything is working perfectly. So now that one now bring us to the next step here. Just to finalize that part, let me see. Okay, I don't know whether we had password on this. If not, it will force us to set. But before then, enable show version. Okay. The image, if you want to check the image is available is here. System image file, boot flash, it is here. So this is what we would like to back up. Okay. Very, very important. You can do a backup of this image here. Then we have talked of the register. Okay. The register here. Okay, this is your register. So it's the normal register. It's what makes everything to work. Okay. And the startup config file will not be ignored. When this file is available, the register is available here. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, guys. There's no password set here. So let's set the password config T so that we can assume we have gotten our password. Then we can start our password recovery. So enable, what did I type? Sorry, enable secret. Enable secret. Okay, no class, but let me just put anything that I don't know. Okay, that I don't know. Then that's the password, the first password. Then the other one also that I need to have is line console 0 password. Okay, and don't forget always there's a login. Okay, then what else? Yeah, line. This line for the 3 password VTY 0 to 4. Okay, then password. Let me just keep on adding something, something that is difficult to remember, not even guess. Then this login. Then what else is remaining? Copy run config. Start config. I'm saving the normally. Okay, then exit. So one time you've woken up well, you've taken your tea, going to work, just to operate normally. Mjanja alikuja behind you akafanya vitu zake that you don't understand, so in the name of sabotaging you, so you're wondering what is happening here. So line console, these are line console password. It was Cisco for you. Unaweka Cisco, boop, hakuna. Aye, ama ni capital letters. So you are wondering, ama ni capital letter caps iko on na sijui you are trying so caps. Unaweka Cisco, oops, Nishinda CEO. So you are in a panic mode calling your colleagues. Okay, hii password kwa ni gani? Tuliweka gani? Ambaye si ni Cisco, haifanyi. Okay, so you see, so there's no way he can get, by the way, there's no way if you cannot even access the user mode in the first place. So how will you get to now is my enable, how do you call it? It can enable secret password, it can align between. You can't even remember what the password was. Okay, now because you learned something to do with password recovery, so you will not go to panic as such. So you just relax your mind a bit, then start your process from here, because where it has reached 1 hour, 2 hours doing the same thing and you have not succeeded, and there's something that I want, maybe you want to do a remote access. You want to access a given switch, maybe in Mombasa from where you are, or in Garissa, and do some updates or do some configuration. But because of that, you are stranded. The colleagues, all of you are stranded. So in that case, you learn something to do with password recovery. So this is what you're going to do. So tell them, let's switch off this. Switch first. So as it boots, so go to physical mode, switch off that router, switch it on, move to CLI. As it boots up on the control break, that is, I've pressed on my keyboard, I've pressed the control key and the break key, and there you are. So now process start from here, because you see, you don't want to lose everything because of the password that someone had set, okay, without your knowledge. Maybe it's your colleague, alafu anajifanya hajui. Okay, it's possible, those petty politics within the organizations usually are there. So just be ready and find a way of surviving. Okay, don't be discouraged and walk away because of such, because that means you will not work anywhere kwa hii Kenya. Just survive. Anguka nayo, anguka tu. Amuka nayo. Okay, you are there surviving. Huh? Okay, so after that, so this is the first thing you have done. So Romno mod. So that means now you are good. You are good to go from here. So you can easily now set, okay, from there. So now what was disturbing us, you know, that file, startup config file is where that password is. So you want the system to ignore that file, as we have learned there. So you'll do config. Okay, don't forget config. Okay, space. So we have seen our register. It was, you know, 0x2102, the normal register, which is okay. But now you want it to ignore. So to ignore is 0x21, okay, 42. So it will be ignoring that register, okay, there. Then you enter. When you enter, it will take you to Roman 2. Roman 2. So from here, you do reset, meaning you are restarting the device. You are restarting the device. You enter. Okay. So it's booting up. So don't do anything. Don't press anywhere. Just leave it until it gets to an end. Okay. It is booting. It is booting. So the first step is to, you know, get into Romno mode. Then after that, you type the other register config 0x2142 to ignore the startup config file, which has the password that is giving you headache. After that, you reset. So when you reset, it will restart. So at least when it's get here, at least you are familiar with this particular, you know, interface. So usually type no. Here, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? Usually type no. Okay, no. So when type no, now it will take you to router. It will take you to router. So at least now you are now relieved in a way. You are heading somewhere. Okay, you are heading somewhere. Then from there, now so proceed normally. Proceed normally. Okay, enable config T. So remember, this is it's a blank area. That file is what you are interested in. That file is what you are interested in. So you want it back so that you can change your password. So therefore, you're going to restore or to bring it back here. So remember the part of copy, the opposite. So it's no longer copy running config, startup config. So it copy startup config. Copy what is in the NV RAM to RAM. That's what you are saying. Copy what is in the NV RAM. Okay. What is the NV RAM? What did I type? Oh, sorry. Before I even get here, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong mode. Exit. Oops, sorry. So copy startup config. Okay, running config. Okay, meaning you are copying from the NVRAM to RAM. Okay, then enter. So this is the file. Unakumbuka username R1. So your file imerudi, all of it. But this time round, without password, but you have restored everything. You have restored everything. Then now, so change the password to things that you know. You change the password, okay? The password that you know. So just normally go to config T because you are in the privilege mode. Okay, config T. Then now you can put the password enable. Okay, secret. So I want to put something that I know, class. Okay, class. So you put class. That one, at least you can remember that. All the passwords. Another password that you'd like to put, the line console. Okay, line console 0, enter. Password Cisco. So you're putting things that don't forget your login command kama kawaida. Login command, then exit. The other password was line with y 0 to 4. Line with y 0 to 4. Password. I just want to put Cisco, then login. So remember the password policies. I'm just doing this for, for, how do you call it? Okay, we can change. Let's change here. No password. No password. Then password. You know what I'm after? I don't want to use the same password. So this one is line with y. Password ICTA, as per the password policy. Okay, for remote access. Mainly, by the way, line with y password is for remote access. Don't forget. Okay, so at least I have now password for line console that protect the privilege mode. Enable secret is protecting the privilege mode. The line console password is the one, the first password you'll encounter as you get in for the first time. For you to be able to see the user mode in your HE is the line console password are there. Then okay, then you are good. You are good. Okay, so you can now exit. Okay, exit as you have said. Then remember, still the register. The register is still the other one. If you just confirm, do show version. Do show version. Okay. You see the register in here. So it means still there will be a challenge. It will ignore. Okay. The subconfig file. So that's why it's now time to change the normal register, the Cisco normal register. So config, okay, is this config register. So you change back to your normal register, which was 0x2102. Okay. Yep. So now with this one now, you are good. You are good to go. Okay. But still, if you do show run, it has not yet picked. You'll be told, just go there. You'll be told here, config register is still this, 0x2142. So this one will be as at next reload. So that means you'll have to do a reload. Okay, you reload for the other one now to pick up, for the other one to pick up. Okay, for the other one to pick up. So now, okay, so you are reloading everything there. Okay. So Cisco. Okay, so you can see now you are good. Enable class. Okay. Yep. Now you are in. So that's how, in brief, you are doing password recovery in all the Cisco devices. Same procedure is applied to a switch, same is applied to a router. Okay. If you have an access point which are command line based, same procedure will be used as well. Okay. Otherwise, thank you guys for your time. We have now officially come to an end of this, training, the CCNA training. Okay. I know it has been a long time for most of you. It's not easy to balance. You are at work at the same time you are attending this training. So it has not been easy, guys. But I'll urge you to take any opportunity that you'll be given by Kevin and his team. Don't misuse the opportunity that you'll get. Okay. So now, so some few things to emphasize. I know I've enrolled you to season 1. Okay, there are those who have done season 1 already, and I keep on checking those who have completed. I mark them complete as complete. I've enrolled you season 2 as well. Okay, that's okay. And I know those who have completed season 1 are now doing season 2. Please keep taking those checkpoint exams. Okay. Then I know if you are interested in certification, CCNA certification, I'll actually encourage you to make use of those vouchers. Okay. So how do you qualify? Let's start from there. How do you qualify for these vouchers, a discount voucher? Okay. First, you need to pass with 70% and above. CCNA 3. Okay. Because that's actually where the vouchers normally is coming in. But it's good just to pass all of them from CCNA 1, 2, and 3. But CCNA 3, 70%. First attempt. So in the ile utarudia again, you're going to repeat the exam. No. You want to do the exam for the first time. Log in, take your final exam. First attempt. Get 70% and above. You'll qualify for that. So that's one area. Okay. Already you have qualified with that one. Now, something else that I would like to emphasize. Recently, Cisco introduced how do you call it? A policy which is not that friendly. Remember, these vouchers you are getting is not only you in Kenya. It's a worldwide thing across the globe. And they're spending their money. So that they're just coming up with ways of reducing the numbers in a way. Like that attempt, first attempt, 70%, the people who will do first attempt and not get 70%. They do second attempt, they get 100%. Already you had a first attempt and you failed. Okay, that's what they're counting. Now, there's something they're calling 28 days policies that they introduced. I don't know. People who have, I know you did maybe Cisco. There are those who did Cisco while in universities, maybe. If at one point you got a voucher, okay, and it was marked as ineligible. Ineligible. So you're wondering what happened. Okay. Yes, it is there, but now ineligible. There's this 28 days policy which they introduced, especially on the CCNA 3. You're supposed to take at least 28 days in CCNA 3. In CCNA 3. At least 28 days. You have been enrolled in CCNA 3. Do whatever you want to do. Do your checkpoint exams. Read through the notes. Do whatever you want to do. But don't sit for that final exam before 28 days elapsed. You have to be there at least for 28 days. That one, 70%, first attempt, 28 days taken, you are good. The moment you submit your final exam, the system now will be able to generate the voucher. So this now the system, not even those people. So the system now that is taking care of all this. I have to emphasize this because majority of students have been affected because you see ile mbio, I want to maliza haraka haraka. Season 1 amaliza within 2 weeks, amefanya season 1 to 3. It's okay. You get that certificate of completion, no? For each stage, 1, 2, and 3. But the voucher will not be there. Or if you get the voucher, utapata this a message, an email that yes, you have congratulations. But if you look at that voucher, hapo kando yake, against it, kuna hiyo ineligible. That tells you in season 3, you did not take 21 days as required. So you must take at least 28 days. 28 days. Not that umekuwa logged in, usa umekaa tu, hakuna kitu unafanya. 28 days, but active. Those are conditions that are there. You are active for system. At least in a week, you can log in like twice, like thrice, maybe doing labs, those syntax checkers things, doing checkpoint exams. And una raka, okay? Like at least 28 days elapse. So when you are through with the checkpoint exams, with those labs, that's why you see you have those practice. Those practice exams are there. Those are things that you can be taking pole. The quizzes you can be taking, those quizzes, those syntax checker, just find a way of at least achieving that with 1 days are there. Okay? Then you'll be able to qualify for that voucher. So I don't know. I know that people who have been affected, our students maybe who are here, those who took at this at KU and you got ineligible, or any other academies around, and you got that ineligibility stuff, in the story at 28 days, people were not aware about that. So that's the point. So please be careful, especially when doing CCNA. So don't be in a hurry to do things. Okay, just take your time, and more so in CCNA 3, because it applies only in CCNA 3. That's why on a part or two off guard, because they want to minimize the number, the budget that they have. Okay. So that's all I wanted to emphasize. I know we'll be communicating. Someone's hand is up. I know still we'll be communicating via the WhatsApp groups, so there's no problem. I can see Arun Ochieng and Philemon. Yes. Yes, let's start. This Ochieng. Okay, Arun. This is a request to unmute. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yes.
Thank you for the presentation.
I don't know why I'm not getting you clearly. I don't know whether it's my network or
Can you hear me right now?
I'm straining, but okay, just proceed.
What about now?
Okay, now it's better.
So my question is, you have I've just
Mm.
have comments that you mentioned for virtual disability, and what
Oh,
get voucher? Is there like a deadline to it, or is there like a timeline you have to complete or utilize this voucher within that time frame?
Uching, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not getting you clearly. Kuna vile unakatika katika. If you don't mind, is it possible you post it hapo kwa group? Ndio nikupate poa. Let me try Philemon. Ibet kama nitampata. Philemon? Or maybe you can emphasize what Arun was saying, Uching was saying. Kama umempata. Philemon? 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 I don't know whether it's a problem. Unmute. Okay. You can unmute. Okay.
Okay, I think Aaron Ocheng
Yes,
was asking what I'm almost asking too.
okay.
Is there a deadline for the the voucher? After getting the voucher, how long can you take before you proceed to the exams? Is there like a deadline?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Good question. By the way, when you get a notification that you have qualified for a voucher, you see, you'll be notified that you have a voucher. That's one thing. So you need to request for it, because you can have it, but you don't request for it. That is it. So you'll be given like 2 weeks to request for that voucher, because there's a process. These 2 weeks. Okay, this 2 weeks process, you request, it'll take like 2 weeks, another 10 days or something, okay, for the voucher to be processed. Okay, after that, you receive that voucher, you have it with you, then you'll be given like, is it 3 months or 4 months to prepare for the exam now? You'll have like some months, 3 to 4 months. Of course, you'll be able to see the moment the voucher has been processed. Request by, you'll be told, request by, used by. Those are things that utaona kwa account yako. Okay, request by this date, used by this date. All those will appear. All those will appear on your side. Okay, so you'll have to move with speed and request before that date elapsed. Okay, before that date elapsed are there. Then used by, so utaona uko na like 3 or 4 months before utilizing your voucher there. Okay. There's something. Let me share my screen. This is what I'm talking about. See, like I've been getting most of this. This the kind of vouchers I used to get. Okay, you can see request by 28th November. Is my Philemon, is my screen visible? Okay. Oh, good. So you can see request by 28th November. This was 2021. Used by 26th April 2022. All these vouchers that have, but they had, I utilized all these vouchers. I utilized all these vouchers. So, okay, so that's the point. So also you'll get something like that. So at least you'll have ample time to you'll have ample time to revise, revise and do everything that you want to do before you sit for that exam. Okay, before you sit for that exams there. So these are some of the vouchers that I was being given. Okay, by the Cisco team are there. Okay, I hope I've answered you, Arun, unless Philemon. Okay, you see, it was the same thing. I think there's another hand which is up because I want to hand over to Kevin if he's around to finalize this. This is Dennis Kilonzo or Dennis. Dennis, hi. Unmute, Dennis.
Yes, are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
So I was asking, like in my case,
Mm.
I've not completed the CCNA 1. So when am I supposed to complete CCNA 1 and 2 before I begin now CCNA 3?
Okay, I'll encourage you. I think now you have ample time to start completing this. Okay, let's try as much as possible to complete season 1, then move to 2 to complete 2. But when you get to 3, what need to ring in your mind? 28 days for season 3. Okay, 28 days. So you'll have 28 days to be there to doing the checkpoint exams. Log in kwa system unasoma, doing the syntax checker and what have you. 28 days here should not move away from you at your fingertips kwa CCNA 3. Okay, kwa CCNA 3. Because that's what they are checking. Sana. Ni sawa, Dennis Kilonzo. Okay, I don't know whether Kevin is with us here. Kevin, let me see. Kevin. Okay. Tuna Kevin. But I know Kevin will reach out to you guys. I know Kevin will reach out to you for the way forward now. Okay. For the way forward. This is Molly. Oh, this is Molly. Okay. Yes. Sorry. Sorry, what is that? Molly, sorry, it's a mistake. Instead of clicking your microphone, come back again, Molly. Or what I can do, allow attendees to unmute. Okay. So I think now you're able to unmute. Okay.
Hey, Mr. Geoffrey, I just wanted to inquire if you've responded about the procedural approach to be used while completing the CCNA in the dashboard.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've responded to it. I think Kilonzo, I think, asked about the same. Yes. I was saying that I know from now onwards, I know you have ample time now to start taking those exams. Okay. And what I was emphasizing, I don't know when is the course ending. I'll check. I hope it's not end of this month. Osina 1. Okay. If it's end of this month, then I'll have to do something about it. But it's not supposed to be end of this.
CCNA 1 was supposed to end at 20th next month.
or next month, huh? That is April.
Yes, April
Maybe
20th.
okay, then it's okay. Then that's okay. So you still have ample time to work it out. So just at least before then, at least you need to complete CCNA 1, then move to CCNA 2, and now CCNA 3. So CCNA 3 ndio come with a lot of conditions, okay, including the 28
Okay,
days.
maybe I can just mention, I saw a question, like, maybe some might not be aware that they are supposed to do not only the checkpoint, but also to complete the modules before doing the checkpoint. Because if they do the checkpoint, their average marks will not be reflected once they do the checkpoint before doing the module.
And by the way, Cisco want you to take everything that is there. Okay. Those assessments that are there, they will have those assessments that are active. They are there. You can practice with those ones. At least you do something. Don't leave it unattended. So you can just take your time and at least take all those. But now, what they do emphasize, the checkpoint exams, all the checkpoint exams, the how do you call it? Checkpoint exams, the course feedback and the final exams. They do emphasize on those. Okay. The others that you will do like those practice, kuna practice final exams, kuna practice skills assessment. Okay. Those ones again are very, very important. And I'll encourage you to buy that 28 days in season 3. You can at least be practicing with those things as well. Molin? Okay. Yeah. Philemon, is it the same hand or is this another hand? And see, Philemon, your hand is up. I want to believe the previous one. Okay, good. So I'm supposed to join another meeting. So we'll be communicating on your groups, huh? We'll be communicating on your groups. So thank you so much, guys, for the time you have dedicated to this program. So let's keep on communicating to our groups. Okay, for the more updates that will be coming up.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your evening.